tips for survivors this month. This month, I'm looking at the impact, and I'm looking at the impact on you as a survivor in terms of carrying guilt and shame. And we know that this is real and it's relevant, and that it surfaces when we least expect it or want it to. That can come through being triggered. It can also just be sitting in our subconscious mind, and something someone says has us feeling those feelings of shame and or guilt, and sometimes both. As survivors, what you had to experience left you with feelings clearly of confusion, but also of not feeling good enough, and that somehow it may have been your fault. But if you add into the mix that there were also siblings who may have been abused as well, or that got the blame for abusing you when it wasn't them at all, then we're looking at a whole other level of dreadful shame and guilt. And the way we need to traverse or make our way through that is through facing it head on. Now, I know as I say that, you're going to start feeling as though, well, why do I need to face into it? And the answer, quite simply, beautiful ones, is that it's there. It's sitting there. If it wasn't, you wouldn't need to do it. So always know that your mind is always taking you to healing. You're always being led to the best possible place you can be, so that you function well and that you are stronger in who you are and through what you do. So facing into what you're experiencing, even though it feels really difficult, is quite powerful and profound. If you ignore it and it comes back at you, it's going to feel worse. If you ignore it and you think you may have gotten away with it, sorry, you haven't. It's going to find you. Why? Because you're always being led to healing. So just so you know, if I showed you an image of you as a little person, as a 3-year-old, 4-year-old, 5-year-old, up to 10, 12, 14-year-old, you would join me in saying that was right there as a child who had no autonomy, no ability to make a decision for themselves or be responsible for what anyone chose to do to them, whether it was through sexual abuse or manipulating them so that others were blamed, or that people were not protected because of words you were made to use. So right there, right now, is some information for you. You were not to blame. You never were. You didn't have the ability to make sense of it. And that's why, in case you doubt me, that's why in most countries across the world, adults are not considered to be so until they turn 18 years of age. If you were under 18 years of age and all of this was going on, you are not considered responsible for the actions that were taken against you or the actions that were used. So I just wanted to give you some hope, because I realise that lying in amidst all of this is a beautiful part of you that may not have been able to surface because you've kept that part of you hidden away because you've felt guilt and shame. And I just want to encourage you to start bringing that small part of you to the surface and honouring who that is, because wow, what an incredible survivor to have made it through and to be able to do and be and behave in the ways that you do today. It's hard to feel good, it's hard to feel valuable, it's hard to feel that you make a difference or that you offer anything meaningful to the world, because there's still that part of you that feels broken and tucked away and wrong and somehow complicit in everything. But as I say, you weren't, you couldn't possibly have been, you weren't an adult, it did not belong to you. So, in handing the shame back, just know guilt, shame, feelings of I could have or I should have or I would have are not welcome here. Love who you are and know that we, as always, stand beside you.